Taking aim at Cuba, Donald Trump plans to roll back parts of a historic deal reached by former President Barack Obama and Cuban officials. But he's stopping short of cutting diplomatic ties with the island. While campaigning, Trump called the Cuba Accord a bad deal and said he could have negotiated a better one. It's a move that has many Cubans anxious. Trump is expected to tighten U.S. rules governing travel, as well as significantly restricting U.S. companies from doing business with Cuban enterprises owned by the military. Tourism experts say such restrictions would make it nearly impossible for American companies to operate on the island.
Military is involved in well over half of the Cuban economy. So you have military holding companies involved in everything from luggage transport at the airport to provision of goods and services at the port terminals for cruise ships. They have an extensive reach throughout the economy, and if you're not allowed to do any business with military companies, essentially you can't do business in Cuba.
The Trump administration is justifying the shift by pointing to Cuba's lack of progress in improving its human rights record.
If we're going to sustain the sunny side of this relationship, Cuba must, absolutely must, begin to address its human rights challenges.
But fewer American tourists mean fewer dollars in the pockets of Cubans who rely on the tourism industry.
85% of our clients are Americans. Because of their power, they're the kings of the world, as the saying goes. Now, if Trump decides to reduce how many come in for tourism, it will create chaos because we live off it, especially from Americans.
Last year, more than 600,000 Americans traveled to Cuba, either by cruise ship or plane, a 74% increase from the previous year. And visitors to the island generated as much as $40 million for private Cuban business owners.